PSG connection. Debrief in English.
All right, French football fans, get ready because we're diving deep into that PSG and RC Lens match.
That's right. We're breaking down this super passionate fans video.
Ooh, controversies and all.
Oh yeah, he's going way beyond that 1-0 final score.
Yeah, because that's not the whole story, is it?
Definitely not. He's dissecting the whole thing, tactics, individual players.
It's like we get to peek right inside the mind of a diehard PSG supporter.
See how they really felt about that win?
Yeah.
And you know, it's a crucial one.
It is. Puts them 6 points clear at the top, especially with Monaco losing.
Exactly right. But this fan, he's arguing that PSG's performance was even better than the score suggests. He's saying it could have been a total blowout. Like he's throwing out numbers like 5-0, 6-0 even.
Whoa, okay, so what stopped?
Brace Samba.
Lens goalkeeper.
Yeah, the fan calls his performance monstrous, like he was a brick wall.
I mean, you gotta admire that, right? One player can have such a huge impact.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, and here's the thing, the fan doesn't hold back on the criticism for PSG either.
Oh, really? What's he saying?
He's calling them out for not being clinical enough when they're attacking, especially in that final third.
Not making the most of their chances.
Exactly. He pinpoints some real missed opportunities, moments that should have been goals.
Like what? Give us an example.
Well, there was that chance Asensio had. Brilliant save by Samba after Neves won the ball back. Then you've got Barcola hitting the post, another shot from Asensio going wide.
Sounds like they had plenty of chances to really punish Lens.
They did, and that's what frustrates this fan. He's particularly annoyed with players going for glory shots when a simple pass would have been the smarter play.
So it's not just bad luck then. He's seeing a flaw in their attacking approach.
You got it. But don't worry, he does highlight some positives too, especially that defensive partnership, Marquinhos and Pacho.
I've heard about them. They've got totally different styles, right?
Yeah, and that's what makes it so interesting. The fan actually points to those contrasting styles as a strength.
Okay, explain that one to me.
So you've got Pacho, who's all about that aggressive, high-pressing style. Then you've got Marquinhos, more cautious, playing that covering role.
So it's like they've got this good cop, bad cop thing going on at the back.
Uh-huh. Yeah, kind of. And it's not just them. He praises Nuno Mendes and Hakimi, too, for their defensive work.
Hakimi especially, right? Luis Enrique's been raving about him, too.
Yeah, Hakimi is getting a lot of praise. He's really stepped up defensively. This fan is loving it.
Sounds like PSG's defense is really becoming a force to be reckoned with.
For sure. And it's not just the defense. The midfield is getting some attention, too.
Yeah.
This fan actually defends Fabian Ruiz, even though he's on his way out of the club.
Oh, wow. That's surprising. What's he saying?
He's saying that Ruiz actually had a decent game, despite missing a couple of chances. He gives credit where it's due.
That's fair enough. So what about the rest of the midfield?
He's really happy with that trio of Vitinha and Ruiz. Calls them robust, praises their work rate, even compares them to Barcelona's midfield.
Whoa, hold on. Barcelona, that's a big claim.
It is. It shows just how impressed this fan is.
Sounds like he's a bit more hesitant about Vitinha, though.
Yeah, you picked up on that. He noticed Vitinha's been shooting less, maybe because the managers told him to, but he doesn't sound convinced it's the right call.
It's a bit of a puzzle, then. So much potential up front, but some question marks around the decision-making. A really strong defensive base, midfield that's getting compared to Barcelona. Where do we go from here?
Well, now we get into the tactical weeds. This fan has some strong opinions about who should be playing that false nine role for PSG.
Ah, okay, so for those of us who don't spend all day dissecting formations, what exactly is a false nine?
Basically, it's a striker who, instead of just hanging out up top waiting for the ball, they drop back into midfield.
To confuse the defense.
Exactly. They create space for wingers and midfielders to run into the box. Lots of movement, hard for the other team to track.
I like it. So who does this fan think should be PSG's false nine?
He's all about Marco Asensio in that role, not so much Lee Kang-in.
Why Asensio?
He thinks Asensio's movement is just smarter. Drops deep to link up play, then pushes forward at the right moments. He says Lee's positioning isn't as consistent.
So it's not just about scoring goals, it's about being the puppet master, making the whole attack tick.
Exactly. Although he does admit Asensio missed a few chances too. But he seems to like the way Asensio makes the team play.
So for him, Asensio is the key to unlocking that attacking potential. But what about the second half of the match?
Ah, that's where things get even more interesting. We'll get into all that after the break. Things did kind of settle down in the second half, though, right?
Yeah, definitely a bit quieter.
Yeah, this fan thinks that red card for Lens, Kevin Danso, had something to do with it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Probably Luis Enrique told the team, all right, let's just manage this lead.
Yeah, why risk it when you're 1-0 up?
Right. But here's what I found interesting. He compares this game to all the other teams PSG's faced.
Ooh, lay it on me.
He says, and I quote, apart from Arsenal, no other team has truly outplayed PSG this season.
Now, that's a bold statement, don't you think? Especially when their scores haven't exactly been dominant.
I know, right? But that's his fan, always looking deeper. He knows they've missed chances, but he still sees the positives, the underlying performance.
So they've got all the right ingredients, they just haven't quite nailed the recipe yet.
Perfect analogy.
Uh-huh.
And this leads him to that whole debate. Does PSG need a proper number 9?
Ah, the classic striker argument.
Yep, and he's got thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't think it's about personnel, it's about efficiency.
Interesting. So it's not about who's playing, it's about how they're playing.
Exactly. He's saying if Dembélé and Barcola were finishing those chances, nobody would be talking about needing a new striker.
They need to sharpen up their finishing then. It's not just about having the talent, it's about executing in those key moments.
Right. He keeps coming back to those missed chances, the times when a pass would have been better. He thinks that's where coaching comes in.
So he's advocating for a smarter, more cohesive attack. Not just every player trying to be the hero, but working together to create the best opportunities.
And that links back to what he was saying about Asensio as that false 9, remember? Making those intelligent runs, creating space for others.
Yeah, it's about finding that balance, individual brilliance, but also playing for the team.
And that brings us to the bigger picture, right? This fan's analysis, it's not just about praising or criticizing players. He wants to understand the whole puzzle, how tactics and performance fit together.
It's like watching a team trying to figure out its identity, isn't it? They've got the potential, but they're still working out the formula.
And that's what makes his analysis so compelling. He's not just commentating, he's giving us that glimpse into the team's mindset.
The emotional side of it all, too? He's a passionate fan, that's for sure. What do you think stands out the most?
I'm really struck by his optimism, even when he's frustrated with the missed chances. He genuinely believes in this team, but he's not afraid to point out where they need to improve.
It's that hope that keeps fans going, right?
Yeah.
The belief that their team can reach that next level, even when things aren't perfect.
And it's great that he can be critical, too. Not blinded by his passion, but able to analyze objectively.
He's challenging the team, A&D, the fans, urging everyone to push for more. This deep dive has really gone beyond just the match itself.
It has. We've uncovered so much about this PSG team, where they are now, where they could go. But there's one more thing we need to talk about, this fans' excitement for the next match against Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, that's a big one. Especially with Atletico's reputation, they're always a tough opponent.
Exactly. And that leads us nicely into our final thoughts for this deep dive.
It's a real test for them, isn't it? Facing a team like Atletico. You think this fan's optimism would take a hit if PSG doesn't come out swinging?
That's the million-dollar question, right? Will they rise to the challenge, or will those inconsistencies we've been talking about come back to bite them? That's what makes this upcoming match so exciting.
He's definitely got that, what do you call it? Cautious optimism for the team and the fans, both. It's like, I see what you're capable of, but now prove it.
And that's the thing with being a fan, isn't it? You want to believe, but you got to be realistic too.
Yeah.
It's a tricky balance. This fan, he really captures that.
It makes you realize just how much goes into analyzing a football match. We haven't just talked about the score here, have we?
Not at all. We've gone deep into tactics, individual players, even the emotional side of things.
Exactly. And that's what we wanted to do, give you that complete picture, where PSG is at right now. Hearing this fan's take has been fascinating, how he connects everything together. It's given me a whole new perspective on PSG, to be honest.
And remember, this is just one fan's view. There are so many different ways to interpret this match. That's the beauty of football, right? Always something to debate.
Exactly. So what about you listening at home? What do you think? Was PSG really that impressive, or did they just get lucky against a goalkeeper having the game of his life? This deep dive has definitely given us a lot more to think about than just the final score.
I think one of the big takeaways for me is how much French football is changing. Teams like Lens, they're not just making up the numbers anymore, they're pushing the big boys all the way.
And that's got to be a challenge for a team like PSG, right? How do they stay on top in this new landscape?
That's the question, isn't it? Will they adapt and evolve, or will they get left behind? It's going to be fascinating to watch it all unfold.
It definitely will be. And we want you to be a part of it. Tell us what you think about this match, this fans' analysis, the future of PSG. We'll keep digging into the world of French football. So much more to explore.
Keep the passion alive.
Absolutely. Until next time.